Hi everyone, I'm Suzanne. This is today's episode of Let's Tap. Ready, set, get shifting, let's tap. While we are waiting for some people to join, I'm going to do a little clearing. I have some sage with me here. I'm just going to do a little clearing. Wonderful. Oh, I just love the smell of sage. You either love it or you hate it, right? I happen to really love it. So welcome everyone. I'm Suzanne, and welcome to this week's episode of Let's Tap. And so this is a new show on the Akashic Academy. I'm so happy to be here. I've been working with Nick the last couple of weeks to really shape this up, so I'm excited to have this opportunity to be able to share with you every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So are you stressed and struggling, anxious, overwhelmed? Are you ready to learn one effortless technique that can help bring you like endless life-changing shifts? I'm talking about shifts that really can help you reprogram your stress, revitalize your energy, and help you reclaim your power. If you are, then you are in the right place. I'm just doing some clearing here, but some gorgeous sage I've got burning. So I'm Suzanne, and I'm a holistic stress relief mentor, and I am founder of Transform Connections. I'm a national wellness speaker and group leader of the Empower Tapping Revolution, which is the very popular women's only tapping Facebook group. I host many online shows, including this show now, also another one called Comfortable and Confident Inside and Out, and also Tapping Open House. So for the last 10 years, I've been helping women all over the world to relieve anxiety, quit overthinking, and build confidence. As a result, they've been able to improve relationships and their health, not just their mental health, but their emotional health and their physical health. Help them to be able to get into alignment with who they truly are and move through really important life transitions, whether it's breakup, divorce transition, empty nester, career change, life purpose, all using energy tapping. So this show is Ready, Set, Get Shifting, Let's Tap, which is a place where I'm going to hold the space to share with you some really tapping basics, some simple tapping basics, along with having you do some tap-alongs with me to help us clear what's in the way of having what you truly want in life, love, and purpose, all at your fingertips, all with energy tapping. But before we get started, I want to just say hi to those who are watching, and I see a lot of people have joined. I want to just say hi to Leanne and Teresa and Jody and Marina. Hi, Tom. Yes. And Jody's already asking for me to send a link to my page and my group page. So yes, it's actually in the description box of this video. So when it posts, you might be able to see it then, but it should be there now. So this is my first week with this show, which is called Let's Tap. It's going to be a weekly show on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's an opportunity for me to share with you all of my tapping wisdom and what I've learned about tapping, give you a chance to ask me questions about what's going on with your life and create something custom for you here live. And we can also talk a little bit about stress, a little bit about the history of tapping. I'm open to whatever it is that you might have as questions. And then going forward, there will be an opportunity for people who are joining, if they want to be a guest on this show and kind of do some live tapping here, that I invite you to reach out to me and be able to connect with me, and we can set something up. That way we can do some real tapping together one-on-one in front of everyone. So let me make sure I see everybody who's here. I see Guadalupe's here and Jamie's here. Hello, hello. Thank you all for being here. I'm Suzanne. I'm a holistic stress relief mentor. This is my first week hosting Let's Tap on the Akashic Academy. This show really was shaped up with the objective of really being able to share with you some really simple tips about tapping, and then do some tap-alongs with you, take your questions, and really share with you this powerful technique that really can offer you like life-changing shifts in being able to reprogram your stress and revitalize your energy and reclaim your power. So with that said, I want to kind of get started. So let's talk about stress a little bit. You know, what is stress? What stresses you out? Well, there's three different kinds of stress. There's the acute stress, which is like, oh, I can't find my keys, or, you know, I missed the turn, or where's my phone? That's that quick stress that kind of just gets to us, and then we kind of release it as soon as that event is over with. Often the body kind of goes through this stress response fairly quickly. We kind of react to it, and then we're kind of relieved when that short event is over with. And then we've got something called chronic stress. And chronic stress can be something like you go to work every day where there's a very critical boss, or maybe you have a conflict in your relationship. Maybe you have financial struggles. Maybe you have a health issue, a chronic health issue. Maybe there's some other type of conflict in your family or with your friends. Maybe you're unclear about your life purpose. Maybe you're just looking for some direction of where to go in your life. And all those are more kind of prolonged, ongoing types of stresses that are around a little bit longer. And then there's the traumatic kind of stress where you've had maybe some grief and loss of something that you've lost, or something that's, you know, broken, a relationship that's broken, or a divorce, or you've lost someone that was important to you, whether it's, you know, just a breakup with a good friend or a significant relationship. And so both chronic stress and traumatic stress are kind of lingering around in us, and they stay in our energy body. And along with the fact that life is so overwhelming and so overstimulating, our body can really absorb and hang on to these cycles of patterns of stress. And so that kind of leads me to share with you about tapping. And so has anybody here even heard about tapping? If you have, then just kind of give me like a thumbs up or say yes and let me know. I know it's getting more and more mainstream now, which is really exciting because I've been doing it for about 15 years. And I used to suggest to people, oh, if you have anxiety, you can just tap under your eye. And they would say, all right, you're a crazy lady. But now people are more open to it as being a real tool and technique that you can incorporate into your life to really bring you that peace and clarity and confidence that we're all seeking. So what is tapping? Really simple. Tapping is a technique that helps us to relieve and shift our experience of stress, where we literally use our fingers to tap on energy points of the body. And what we're doing when we're doing that is we're sending a calming signal to this part of the brain, this fight or flight part of the brain called the amygdala that's always on guard, wondering if we're safe or we're not safe. So when we're tapping, we're sending this message to the amygdala like, it's really okay. We can calm down now. And that will calm the mind and the body. So tapping is a technique that helps us to relieve and shift our experience of stress. And we do that through tapping literally on specific tapping points. Now, tapping's been around for about 50 years. It's been around a while. And there's lots of different approaches to it. I would say, so Jennifer says she loves EFT. That's awesome. Caprina says that she knows tapping. Lynn says yes, tapping for 10 years. Carla says yes. Naomi says yes. Awesome. So great that you all know about tapping. I have been studying tapping for about 15 years, and there's lots of different approaches out there. I am more in tune with an intuitive approach about tapping when I work one-on-one with someone. I really want to be able to kind of get to the root and results faster for you. And that really is more law of attraction based in my style. And so I go really to what it is that you don't want first, which is what you know how to see very clearly. You know how to hear it. You know how to taste it, smell it, touch it, everything. You have just such great ability to be aware of what you don't want. What you do want, a little bit fuzzier, you know, sometimes. And so when we tap, with my style of tapping, I go to what it is that you don't want and how you know it bothers you. And so that kind of leads me to, you know, why do we have problems? Because the problems are what actually create these scenarios in our life that create these stressful, you know, responses in the body. We have problems because we have memories. We have thoughts and stories and beliefs and expectations that all shape our belief system. And we recreate those things based on, you know, we project our memories based on our subconscious and conscious awareness of things. And so we are living a belief system of who we think we are. So let me get to tapping. So tapping is this awesome technique that helps us to relieve and shift our experience of stress. That experience of stress is what we experience in the mind and the body. And how we experience it is based on the memories that we have, the thoughts that we have. So let me share with you just a few of the tapping points. And if you've been tapping for a while, you might be like, hey, you're missing a couple of points here. I use a shorter version of tapping points that are more aligned with just the fight or flight types of tapping points. So I want you to take 2 fingers, either hand, doesn't matter. The first point is between your eyebrows, so just start tapping between your eyebrows and get a nice bounce there. Don't be too shy. You want to be able to feel your fingers on your skin. Not so light that you can barely feel it, and certainly don't bruise yourself. Don't knock yourself out. This is the bladder meridian, and it represents emotional trauma. And then you're going to take those same 2 fingers right here on the side of the eye. And this is the gallbladder meridian, and it represents anger. And then under your eye is your stomach meridian, and it represents anxiety. And then you're going to take all 4 fingers and get a nice bounce on your collarbone. So right where your collarbones will kind of just grow together here, just get a nice bounce there. And this is the kidney meridian, and it represents fear. And then you're going to take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. The reason why you do that is because you have meridians that run under the bottom of your arm and the top of your arm out to your fingertips. And each one of your fingers is a different meridian. So the thumb is the lung meridian, and it represents grief. The index finger is the large intestine. It represents stubbornness. The middle finger is the pericardium, which is the sac around the heart, which represents jealousy. You skip the ring finger, go to the pinky. On the side of the pinky is the heart meridian, and that represents shock. And then on the side of the hand is the small intestine, and that represents fear of an experience. Now you might be saying, Suzanne, you missed a couple of points. There's this point, there's this point, there's this point, this point, this point. There's tons of points all over the body because we have these rivers of energy that flow in our body from our head to our feet. And there's so many points, and they're all interconnected. So you really can't mess this up. So I just focus on a shorter version, between the eyes, side of the eye, under the eye, on your collarbone, and grab your whole wrist. No need to tap here, no need to tap on every finger. Just squeeze your whole wrist and you get that whole benefit. I just want to say hi to a couple of people who's joined. Jamie says, just a newbie. That's cool. So Flo asked, can you do tapping for headiness? Flo, share with me a little bit more about what it is you're asking about. What does that mean? Cheryl says she's an EFT master practitioner. Awesome. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Lorne is here. And I see Cheryl. Who else is here? Jennifer's here. Hopefully I got everybody. Thank you all for being here. So let's get to tapping. So I teach tapping in 4 easy steps. Step number 1 is I'm going to invite you to notice something that bothers you and how it bothers you. So as you start to think about something that bothers you right now, just notice what starts to come to mind. Do you see it as a movie in your mind? Do you maybe see it as a picture? Maybe someone in the picture? Maybe it's you in the picture? Or maybe you don't see anything at all. Maybe you just hear something. Maybe it's someone's voice and what they said to you. Or maybe it's your own voice saying something to yourself. Or maybe you don't hear anything at all. Maybe you just feel something in the body. And you say, oh, I've got this tightness, this tension. Oh, my stomach is upset, or I've got a headache. Whatever your physical symptom might be, just notice that. Now, you might have all 3. You might say, I can see something, I can hear something, and I can feel something. Great. Maybe you say, I just see something. Or maybe you just hear something. Or maybe you feel something. Whatever it is, step number 1 is notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. And then step number 2 is to give it an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. If 0 is, doesn't really bother me, 10 is, it really bothers me, give it a number. What number would you give it? And you want to find something that's a little bit higher than a 6. So that thing that bothers you, how it bothers you, just notice it. Give it an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is I invite you to go to the part that really stands out the most. The part where you're like, oh, this is the part that really gets to me. The part that I just am so bothered by. Now, we have to press on the pain just a little bit. I know you might be like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But just go there. It's going to be okay. Go to that part that really stands out and notice how it stands out. Then step number 4 is we're going to tap. So again, find something that bothers you. Make sure it's higher than a 6. Go to the part that bothers you. And step number 4 is we're going to tap. So hopefully everybody has something in mind right now that they're thinking about. Just notice how it bothers you. Give it an intensity number. Go to the part that stands out the most. Step number 4, here we go. I want you to start tapping between your eyes. Take your 2 fingers, tap between your eyes, and repeat out loud after me. And say, this thing that bothers me. It really bothers me. How I know it bothers me. Why it bothers me. How I'm reacting to this thing. Why it triggers me. How I know it triggers me. What it looks like. What it sounds like. What it feels like. And then tap on the side of the eye and say out loud, this thing that bothers me. It's really bothering me. I'm connected to it. I'm attached to it. All the intensity of this thing that bothers me. All the meaning I've given it. What I think about it. What I believe about it. What I say about it. And then tap under your eye, this thing that bothers me. It really bothers me. However, I'm connected to it. Whatever programs in my body that support it. Whatever routines or cycles in my body that support it. I'm willing right now to let it go. I choose to let it go. This thing that bothers me. And all the reasons it bothers me. No good reason. And then take all 4 fingers and tap on your collarbones. This thing that bothers me. I'm willing right now to let it go. I choose to let it go. Letting it go from every cell of my body. From every part of my body. Slowing down the momentum of this experience. Of this thing that bothers me. Allowing myself to detach from the intense meaning I've given it. Breaking any patterns inside, any programs that support this thing. It always works out when you let it go. And then take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. Take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word clear. Now in your mind, I want you to go to someplace amazing, someplace like a favorite memory. And it doesn't have to be real. It can just be imagined. It can be someplace that you just think is like wonderful, like a fluffy cloud that you're sleeping on. Or it can be as simple as just, being in your bed, or, being in some place that you really enjoy. Imagine yourself walking on a beach in the perfect temperature. So just go to that place right now and feel really good. And try and make that a 10 on a scale of 0 to 10. So everyone go there to that wonderful place. Notice how beautiful it is. Notice how easy it is to feel when you're there. Make it as strong as you possibly can. And then take your 2 fingers and tap between your eyes and repeat out loud after me. And say, this is who I really am. Naturally and easily. This wonderful place is inside of me. I created it. Like I create all things. And then tap on the side of the eye, this wonderful place. It's all mine. It's who I really am. And then tap under your eye. This wonderful place. I create it. Like I create all things. And it's inside of me. I can have it anytime I want. And tap on your collarbones. This wonderful place. It's inside of me. And it feels really good. And it's all mine. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times. Take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word peace. Then I invite you to go back to that thing that was bothering you before. And notice what stands out. Go check what intensity number it is. Maybe before you had something was higher than a 6, and maybe now notice what number it is. And so if you're following along with me, feel free to pop into the chat and tell me what number you started out with. Tell me, oh, I had something that was at this number and now it's at this number. I really would love to know if who was tapping along and seeing what number you had as a shift. I'm going to read some comments here. Kathy Watson says, great to catch you live. Thanks for being here, Kathy. Caprina says hello. She's got abandonment from childhood. Was it 10? Good. What is it now, Caprina? Melissa Hayes says, hello, beautiful. So hello, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here. Marina says, awesome. I love this. Yay. And I love your third eye icon. Beautiful. Jody says, was an 8 and now it's a 6. That's great. That was just in a few minutes. And that was really just general tapping. She said she's having energetic attacks. So Marina said her fear was a 10 and now it's a 0. Amazing, right? Amazing. Bernadette says it was an 8 and now it's a 2. Jennifer Simpson says 7, now a 3. Wow. And Cheryl Evans says started off as an 8 and I got it down to a 1 or 2. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Melissa says this is really interesting. Isn't it so cool? Oh my gosh, right? Caprina, 10, now a 0. Lorne, 8 and now 0. Oh wow. Jamie, 10 now, 8 now a 2. Fantastic. I love it. This is so exciting. So if you had something that went from an 8 to a 2 or a 10 to a 0, it really showed me two things. One is that you really were aiming specifically at that step number 3, that part that really bothers you. And when you have the courage and the bravery to go to that part that really bothers you and be present with it while you're tapping at the same time, you're doing 3 things. One is that you're regulating the energy body, because our bodies are energy. And we're actually using the energy meridian system that's based on Chinese medicine. So when we're tapping on these points, we're going from these very wild energetic body swings to really nice and even pace, to the pace that personally works for you. And so that's one thing that we're doing when we're tapping. I call it regulating momentum. The second thing we're doing when we're tapping is we are disconnecting from that intense meaning that we've given it. Those thoughts and those beliefs where we're really hooked in and we're latched on and we're gripped on, that we think it's who we are in our belief system. So when we're tapping, what we're doing is we're loosening up that grip on that specific meaning that we've given it. That way we can start to be able to come out of that and see it from a new perspective, maybe even have some different thoughts and beliefs about it. And then the third thing that we're doing is we are disconnecting and breaking patterns in our routines and our internal wirings memory, that cellular memory, that nervous system memory of how we do that thing that we're doing. So I call this the 3 M's of tapping. We're regulating the momentum, we're detaching from the meaning, and we're breaking the memory pathways of how we do this at a cellular level. So when you're going from, say, a 10 to a 2, you're really showing me that no matter what your intensity level is, you were able to aim at that part that was able to give you the relief and the calm that you're looking for and wanting to experience. Now, if you had something that was a 10 and you're still at an 8 or a 6, that can show me a couple things. One is that means that the intensity, that momentum is really significant. It might be going very, very, very fast in your body. And when you go from 5,000 miles an hour to 2,000 miles an hour, well, 2,000 miles an hour is still really fast. And so it's slower, but you still feel like it's fast. Also, you might have some meaning that you're really gripped onto, that you think, well, I got more of a hairball here than I thought, with connections to other belief structures that are really holding on to this one, and maybe it's going to be a little bit more tricky to be able to detach from, and we'll have to kind of piece this apart, memory by memory. Or maybe there's just some kind of neural pathways, and there's some kind of programming at the DNA level that is really so ingrained with something that you do every day and you think about all the time. So you're really practice and doing this. And so there might be a little bit more of a willingness and persistence that you're going to have to keep up to be able to get that number of intensity down, get that number down to where you can feel that reprogramming of that stress. You can feel that revitalization of your energy, where you can really reclaim that power that was lost to that thing. So let me read some more comments. So Marina says she loves the explanation. I'm so glad. Thank you. Jody says, just want to ask you, you tapped on one side of your temple and squeezed one hand of your wrist. Don't we need to tap and squeeze both sides? So that's a great question. So for tonight's purposes of, just getting started, I just did one side, but there's lots of different ways you can tap. You can tap with 2 fingers on both hands, on both sides, all the time. You can actually tap in crossing. You can cross the hemispheres of your hands while you're tapping, because our energy body wants to flow in that infinity symbol, figure 8 symbol all the time. And so it really helps us to be able to cross our energies. But I don't want to get too complicated for today. But certainly you can do that. One hand, both hands, on every single point as you're comfortable. Sometimes I tap a lot and I just start with one hand, and when this hand gets tired, I switch over to this hand, and then I switch back and forth. Sometimes just stay with one hand. So whatever it is that's resonant with you right now, just stick with that. So Krista's here. I say hello, Krista. Awesome. Fred's here. Hello, Fred. Thanks for being here. Awesome. So I shared with you what stress is about, what a little bit about tapping and the tapping points, why we have problems, which stems from all of our thoughts and our beliefs and the memories and stories that we hold within. We went through a simple round of tapping to share with you exactly the experience of what tapping can provide to you to help you to be able to reprogram your stress, revitalize your energy, and reclaim your power. I share with you the 3 M's of tapping. That tapping helps you to be able to regulate the momentum of your energy body, detach from the meaning and the intense meaning of the beliefs and the thoughts you have about it, and be able to reprogram the memory at a cellular level of what's going on with you. The one real secret to tapping I'll share with you is to get specific. And a lot of people say, well, I've been tapping, it doesn't really work for me, or I've been doing it for a while and I'm just not seeing any shifts. And if that's the case, it truly is because you're not getting specific enough. So when we talked about the 4 easy steps of tapping, step number 1 is to notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. You really want to get specific. It was this thing that happened on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and it was 6 feet tall, and it was the color blue, and I never forgot about it. It happened 20 years ago, and I can be right there. Get really specific in what it is that you're going to in your mind as that thing that bothers you. If you've got a specific memory, oh, this happened to me on this date, I'll never forget it. I know what I was wearing, what I was eating, who was involved, what they looked like. Go right there. That is the secret to making tapping work, is get specific. There's tons of tapping videos out there that just talk about general tapping scripts. You can talk about anything stress related, anxiety in a very general way, but truly to make the life-changing shifts that you're looking for, you need to get specific. So say, for example, you have social anxiety and you say, oh, I've got a party I have to go out to this weekend and I just don't want to go to that party. When I go there, I'm going to feel this way and people are going to talk to me. What am I going to say to them? Or what are they going to think about me? And all that flood of information and those peppering of overthinking thoughts you might have as someone with social anxiety would have, That's the specifics. You want to go to that. Or maybe you're an empty nester and you say, oh, all the kids are gone. What do I do this weekend? What do I do with my life now? Who am I without them? I don't have anything to do. What's my life purpose because they're gone? You know, I wake up in the morning and I used to make them breakfast. Now they're not here anymore. And so that specific story and how you describe it in your own words is your own tapping script. So if you're asking, what do I say when I tap? It's your own story in your own words, how you describe it, where you're stressed and struggling. Let me read a couple more comments here. So Jim Lynn says that he just got on. Hey, welcome, Jim. Marina asked, how can I know more about tapping in the infinity symbol? So Marina, you know, I was trained by Donna Eden originally in energy medicine, and our body's energy moves in a crossing, like in a crossing of the hemispheres between the left and the right hemispheres of the body. And so when we're when in the energy medicine world, you're always wanting to cross those hemispheres to get that energy to flow. And you can do it, you know, in your mind. You can do it with physical motion of your body. If you went to an acupuncturist, they would put needles in the meridians of the body to be able to circulate the energy body. The same thing with acupressure, and now even with with tapping. What you're literally doing is you're getting that energy body to circulate in this figure 8 pattern. And when energy is stuck in the body, that's when we experience pain and disease. And tapping, acupuncture, energy medicine, anything that we can do to stimulate the energy body is going to get that energy to circulate. And when it's circulating, that's when we have optimal health and wellness. Our energy body actually even intersects with the chakras of the body. And there's like 70,000 chakras in the body. And so as our energy body engages with the chakra system, we're really starting that flow of energy. And you know, our energy is changing all day long based on how we're perceiving and what we're thinking and where we're going and what we're subjected to in our environment. All of that affects us all the time. It's always changing. It's always fluid. There's parts that are moving and there's parts that are stagnant. There's parts that are overflowing and there's parts that are not as flowing as strongly. And tapping can really help to regulate all of that. And as a simple technique, as a free technique to be able to get your energy body to move. Hey, Kathy, yeah, please watch the replay when this gets up. I'm glad you just asked the universe about this. Yeah, so this is my new show on the Akashic Academy. It's every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's called Ready, Set, Get Shifting, Let's Tap. It's an opportunity for me to share with you some tapping basics and also invite you to tap along and clear whatever's in the way of whatever it is that you truly want. I'm going to invite anybody who's interested on being on the show with me to look up in the description box of this video. I have a little link to 30 minutes on my calendar. You know, if you're interested to be on the show, be a guest on the show and tap along with me and you know, be brave and share with us what's going on with you. We can do some live tapping, you and I, and everyone else that'll be on watching us is going to get the borrowed benefit of that experience of that tapping. So if you've got something that's going on and you'd like to volunteer and come on the show, feel free to put 30 minutes on my calendar, as well as anyone that's on the show right now or watching this live or watching it as a replay. I invite you all to, you know, put 30 minutes on my calendar to be able to have a personalized tapping experience. I offer 30 minutes, like a mini tapping session with me, where we get on the call and we get right to tapping on exactly what your stress and struggle is, to be able to get you to feel that relief and peace. Also, I have another Facebook group called the Empowered Tapping Revolution. It's a women's only group, and it's been around for about a year, and it's growing, and there's lots of wonderful engagement. It's a place where I'm offering women support and strategies to, you know, build inner wisdom and resiliency for life stresses using energy tapping. And so many women on there have never even heard of it. So if you haven't either, you're in like company. And there are many women who are seasoned to know about tapping, and they're still in the group too. So If you know about tapping and you don't know about it, you're welcome to join. It's the Empowered Tapping Revolution. I also have a link in the description box of this video as well. Let me read a couple more comments here. So Gabe says he's going through divorce, and yeah, I mean, divorce transition is not the funnest for sure, and life transitions of any kind. That when we're really changing, you know, from one identity to the next, and it really is an opportunity to, you know, reinvent yourself as much as we are so attached to things that we just don't want to let go of for so many reasons. I totally get it. But tapping can certainly help you with divorce transition for sure. It can help ease that transition that you might be experiencing in your body, and then also the thoughts that you might be having about it. Caprina, I love all your hearts and smiley faces. Thank you. Jamie, you're welcome. I'm so glad you like this information. Melissa says, awesome. Melinda says, this is the first time watching. Would love to learn. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to be this video will just automatically post as soon as I end the live video, and that way you can watch it on replay if you've joined us late. Every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Ready, Set, Get Shifting, Let's Tap on this Akashic Academy page. I invite anybody who wants to be a guest on the show with me, who wants to share with what they're going through. We'll do a live session together with everyone. And for the weeks that I don't have anyone as a guest, I'll be coming on, sharing with you tapping basics, the how-tos of tapping, why we have stress, how we have problems, what to do about those problems, some of the secrets about making tapping work, what I call the 4 easy steps of tapping, the 3 M's of tapping, the momentum, the meaning, and memory, in order to be able to get to the root of what it is that's going on with us. That way we can start to reprogram our stress, revitalize our energy, and reclaim our power. Cindy says, yeah, this sounds like it would be helpful for getting rid of childhood trauma. Absolutely. I am a product of early developmental trauma. Absolutely. So this really helps us to be able to go to those early memories that we might have and be able to transform them, to be able to reclaim the power that was lost in those dysfunctional scenarios. That way you can truly start to live an empowered life and not be disempowered through dysfunction, which really lives in the subconscious and the unconscious body and the mind. And Melinda says, for fibromyalgia and PTSD, absolutely. All of those chronic stress struggles can certainly start to be lessened and reversed with your willingness and persistence to be with tapping. Jody said she joined a request to join my group. Awesome. I totally will accept that afterward. Clover says, love to learn, been interested for a while, struggling with fibromyalgia and osteoarthritis and a few other autoimmune issues, illnesses. Welcome, Clover. Glad you're here. Awesome. Caprina says, this method is so needed. I think we're at the right time where people are ready to embrace something that is a self-use technique that they can put in their toolbox for life and create the life that they truly want in the moment. They don't have to wait to go to an acupuncturist. They don't have to wait to go to a doctor or, you know, whatever kind of session that they are scheduled with. They can really use this technique in the moment to start to reprogram their stress. So my mission is to come on every week, share with you a little bit more, take your questions, do some live tapping with you. So I'm going to end by saying thank you so much for listening to me today. I'm such gratitude of all of you being here. I'm excited to build this community with you and this relationship every week. This is your place to come for your weekly tapping. If you want a little bit more, come over to my group, The Empowered Tapping Revolution. There's a link in the description box. If you would like to have 30 minutes with me, video chat, there's a link in there as well to get on my calendar. If you want to come on the show and do some live tapping, get on my calendar and we'll chat about it. We'll get it organized and scheduled, and I invite you to come on, and you'll be able to help a lot of people with what it is that you're brave enough to share with as we tap together. So thank you again so much for listening to me, and I will see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.